Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour. Welcome back to a quick question I've seen come up numerous times over the last few weeks or months on videos and in stream comments or in Discord or wherever. And whenever I see a question pop up so many times, it's worth doing a video on just to clarify. And it's something I've actually been thinking about for a while, really. And the question is, well, I kind of don't even know what the question is, but it's what rules do we play in tournaments? And is it pro rules, and what is pro rules? So if we're talking about, first of all, what is pro rules? Now, pro rules is, I mean, the main thing that pro rules is referred to is for free-for-alls. It's on DEFCON 6. I've already made a video about it in the past. You notice this is a 20-minute video because there's loads of different variations of pro rules depending on what map you're on and depending on how much money you start with and all kind of crazy shit like that. And it also varies from person to person. That is pro rules. The second question that I'm going to ask you now is, do you think pros that, well, first of all, what is a pro? What do you think the top players play pro rules? The question is no. Pro rules is mainly played by noobs and people who are not really pros at all, but it's called pro rules. So yeah, that's the confusing thing. Pro rules is really, you might as well call it noob rules, which there is a noob rules as well. Which why it makes it more complicated. But the real pros among Zero Hour, the 1v1 experts, these kind of players, the Size, the Excal, the Boyka, anyone who's playing 1v1, they're not playing pro rules in 1v1. Pro rules is mainly for DEFCON and free-for-alls, and yeah, it's mainly not played by pros at all. So yeah, that's the confusing part. So the pros we actually play among tournaments. So this is from the World Series. This is over on Game Replays where the tournament was hosted. So if we have a look at the rules there, for example, everything's usually random reverse nowadays in terms of the armies. But I think the rules that you're actually on about is like what can you actually do and what can you not do inside of the game. So the rules are, there are no rules. In 1v1 expert games and top level games, the only thing really stopping you from doing anything is bug abuse. Like you can't do things that are going to create bugs or use a bug to win, because this is an old game and because it's not been patched for a hell of a long time, and because hundreds and hundreds of thousands of players have been playing it over the years, we've found loads and loads of bugs. And I suppose the main thing that you're going to see here is about using scaffolds. So for example, you can block a fire base by building like a scaffold in front of it where the fire base won't be able to hit it. So let's say you build a barracks in front of a fire base, or you build a tunnel in front of a fire base or whatever, the fire base will not be able to shoot. So it can be useful for getting in Gatling cannons past fire bases and stuff like that, Gatling tanks. So the main thing here that you'll see, obviously fair play rules apply, which we'll have a look inside of that as well. That's like no scud bug, no supply drop zone microwave tank bug and all this kind of stuff. Don't go asking me what these are, by the way, because I'm forbidden to, well, I don't want to share any bugs and have people bug abusing, because I don't recommend it as well. Although finding new weird and wonderful things is cool, but yeah, you don't want to bug abuse inside of tournaments and stuff. So yeah, the rules here are mainly around scaffolds. So like placing scaffolds beyond their intended purposes. So what's it saying? You're not allowed to do things with scaffolds, with the exception of, so you are allowed to place a scaffold if you're going to build a building, of course. You are allowed to place a scaffold if you're going to scrap deny for GLA. And people always say, oh yeah, well that's a bug as well, why are you doing that? Well, the thing is, I'm really pro this, for this rule to allow scrap deny, because it helps balance the game. Now trust me when I say a super tech ruins games. If a super tech kills 2 trucks and runs around killing all the dozers and all your tanks, then it completely ruins the game for me and I have less fun. So scrap denying, which comes with risk, by the way. You place a scrap, you place a scaffold over the scrap and it deletes the scrap from the map, from the game. But it comes with risk though, because the technical could shoot your barracks or whatever you're placing on it, and it could cost you $500. So it comes with risk. So there's an element of skill to it as well. So it's helping balance the game, and there's an element of risk to it as well. So I know there'll still be people that say, oh, it shouldn't be allowed, blah blah blah. Like Scuba famously always says, oh yeah, it shouldn't be allowed. Well, yeah, it's all right you having your own opinion, but the facts are it helps balance the game, whatever your opinion is. You can't argue with the facts. So and I don't care if that can't be proven or whatever. I'm saying now it helps balance the game. After hundreds and hundreds of thousands of games that I've played over the years, I'm telling you, it helps balance the game. Or maybe tens of thousands, maybe not hundreds of thousands. Anyway, you can force guarding enemy air units within a close proximity of a scaffold to shoot the ground. So that's when like a MiG is like flying around, you place a barracks underneath it, it goes to shoot the barracks, and then you strike with your Colonel Burton or whatever. So yeah, could be a little bit questionable whether that should be allowed or not, but them's the rules. This is what the admins have come up with and stuff. So you're allowed to place scaffolds around the map in order to survive. So let's say you've come down to your last building, you quickly drop down a scaffold in the corner and you want to survive. Yeah, you can do that as long as it doesn't interfere with any enemy stuff. You can place a scaffold to trick waypoint scouting. So I'm not going to talk about waypoint scouting fully now. I've got a video on that. Just type into YouTube what is waypoint scouting. You can place scaffolds to remove destroyed buildings and flatten terrain. So sometimes you might destroy a building, like in the middle of Tournament Desert is a famous one, where you want to try and take a fight, but the remainder of a destroyed building still remains there, and it disrupts your units moving around and disrupts your attack. So you can use a scaffold to clear the rubble or to flatten the terrain. You are allowed to do that, and you're also allowed to place scaffold to protect your workers, dozers, or trucks. So yeah, I don't fully understand what that one is, but you're allowed to do it, whatever it is. So yeah, apart from that, it's just no bug abuse and stuff like that. So in here is a list of like cheats and stuff you're not allowed to do. Obviously, you're not allowed to map hack, you're not allowed to exploit bugs, you're not allowed to use army hack, control hack. You're not allowed to observer collude, which means when you're playing a 2v2, you get defeated and then you stay on voice chat with your mate and you tell him everything that's happening under the fog because you can see the whole map. You're not allowed to ladder cheat, and yeah, I mean, I'll leave a link to these in the description. There's loads of stuff here. It's basically don't cheat and don't bug abuse, but apart from that, you're allowed to do exactly what you want within reason. So yeah, I thought I'd clear that up. There is pro rules, which primarily pros do not play. Even though I'm playing free-for-alls all the time, it's usually not against the elite pro players. It's not against the big size, the Google, the Boyka, all these kind of players. If you've not seen that video, I highly recommend go back and watch it, because there's variations. These things in red, you're definitely not allowed to do. These things in green, you are allowed to do. And these things in yellow, you're sometimes not allowed to do, and you sometimes are. So it gets very confusing. But yeah, do pros play pro rules? Primarily no. And what is tournament rules? Well, it's basically no rules. You're allowed to build 50 super weapons if you want to, or if you're even able to, because the pro player will probably kill you before you're able to do that. But just no bug abuse and no cheating and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully that clears it up. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll be gladly available to answer them. So GG, well played. See you in the next one.